with two. Jackson for three. Yes! Buzzer beater.
All right, so let's take a look at Unrivaled Week 4. We had some outstanding moments, especially with Unrivaled starting out in Philadelphia. They got a lot of love from a city that does not have a WNBA team, or a women's professional basketball team to be more specific. Unrivaled was shown a lot of love. You saw Don Staley in the crowd, Leslie Jones, Spike Lee's, and Jack Nicholson's of the women's basketball world, and they even got a special shout out from Quinta Brunson.
Hey Philly, it's Quinta Brunson. I'm here on set, but I had to send a message to let you guys know that I am so excited. Tonight is a big night. I'm so proud of everyone for supporting Unrivaled and women's sports. Have a great time.
Honestly, if you were on that side of the internet, it was all anybody was talking about. We actually got a lot of movement in the standing and exciting rises from teams that didn't get a lot of confidence in the beginning of the season. And looking at that more specifically, one of the more exciting parts of the week for Unrivaled was the battle at the top of the standings. The game versus the Mist and the Laces. It was a pretty good game, especially through the first couple of quarters, the first quarter, I'll say, and then the Laces kind of ran away with it, and you really thought they would take the game. But the Mist came charging back in the third quarter and made it a close fourth, but the Laces ultimately ended up with that win and secured the top spot because they were sharing it for a second with the Mist. And then right behind that, you had a really good game between the Breeze and the Rose. So there is literally that battle at the top of the standings. The top 6 teams make it to the playoffs. The playoffs are single elimination games, so really once you make it there, it's anybody's championship. Okay, and giving out the flowers this week, we had a few nice performances. Starting off, we're just going to give a shout out to Mo Billings and Elena Smith. Mo Billings is killing it just in general with the double-doubles, and Alana Smith is right behind her. And then getting into the specific performances, we got 31 points from Shakira Austin. She went absolutely nuts. It's wild because she really does deserve, a round of applause for that performance, but this was in Philadelphia the first night Unrivaled made it to Philly, so it was kind of overshadowed honestly by a lot of things that happened in that first night. Okay, and right behind Austin you have Paige Beckers, who gave us 32 against the Rose, where honestly they're calling it a revenge game, especially depending on where you frequent online. But Paige went off, leading her team confidently. The Breeze had it out the gate. The Rose looked a step behind the entire game. It kind of ended up being a statement game for the Breeze. They look like formidable foes for the playoffs now. I don't think any of the teams at the top of the standing would look at that matchup now and think, oh, that's an easy win. Now they know they have to fight this young team tooth and nail. Okay, and then topping it off, we got Sonia Citron, who really came out and had that, hey, we're gonna win this game mentality, along with Mo Billings and Kelsey Mitchell, but the Hive just couldn't pull it out, even with 32 points from Citron, while also giving you 5 assists, 2 blocks, 4 rebounds, and they still lost to the Vinyl. Granted by only 3 points, but the Hive definitely ended up with a struggling season. Alright, and then coming in at number 2, we're just gonna mash it in there with number 1, but Unrivaled Night in Philadelphia. It was really fun to see. There were a lot of stars out, along with who was previously mentioned. You had Andre Drummond go a little bit viral there, just because of his support of not just the league, but Marina Mabrey specifically. It brought a few eyes to the community, not just Unrivaled, but women's basketball as a whole. They sold out that stadium, 21,490 fans. The average ticket price for Unrivaled was about $165 compared to $85 for the Sixers. Now granted, I assume you got both games for the $165, but that stadium was literally packed. And to give it to Unrivaled, they came prepared. They had the best teams ready to play that night, the most popular players ready for interviews. They made content out of Kalia Copper and Natasha Cloud going home, playing in front of their home crowd, their family and friends. And it really looked like everyone had fun. It was like a field trip on top of a field trip. They're already having a ball in Miami, and then you get this extra trip to Philadelphia. You had our favorite callers down there as well, Lisa Leslie, Brendan Glasheen. So it was a fun time to be had. They even got Sabrina Ionescu on the call for a little bit during the first game. Unrivaled really does try to pull out all the stops and be entertaining as possible for not just the fans that are there, because you kept seeing Sephora drops and giveaways, but everyone watching at at home as well. So it looked like a very successful night in Philadelphia. It was reported that they made $2 million in revenue from the entire event. So even looking at it from a business standpoint, they're definitely going to do this again next season. And we can assume it'll be either in a big city or just a city that doesn't have a women's professional basketball team. And topping off this night in Philly, it was like the perfect combination for Unrivaled and Marina Mayberry, going off for 47 points. Absolutely killing the night for the Rose, who again got 31 points from Sakira Austin, and it was supposed to be a night for Kalia Copper. But I can promise you she won't be giving Marina any more cheesesteaks. She went off for 10 3-pointers. She broke 3 different records for Unrivaled. The 3-point record, most points scored, and field goals made. She had 27 points in the first quarter alone, and almost had 50 if she didn't miss that last 3-pointer at the end of the game. And by then, it didn't matter who you were rooting for. The entire crowd was into it. They all wanted her to drop that last 3-pointer. And no matter where you got your Unrivaled online, Blue Sky, Twitter, Threads, this was all anybody could talk about. And well deserved. I honestly believe she walked away with more fans in that one night than an entire season with the WNBA. And then my honorable mention has to be StudBudz Night. Not only did they get a fan experience night where if you're there you can get autographs and pictures and merchandise, but they did the pink wig thing again. You saw a lot of fans rocking that and supporting the StudBudz. And then they brought them on the call, which is becoming a normal thing in Unrivaled. I'm personally a fan because Paige was on the call as well in this same night. So I love that they're handing this out to different players and just guessing with that, players that want to do it. Because as soon as they let Natisha Heidemann go loose, she was calling that game like she's done this before. She was calling that game like she wants this job in the future.
StudBudz joining us here in the third on StudBudz Night.
Lamb posting up, kick out the V for 3.
Now, Courtney Williams was playing her StudBud role, icing out Brendan Glasheen, hyping up Lisa Leslie, but T was actually calling the game. Good enough or entertaining enough for production to want them to stay for the fourth quarter. For all the other players that have called the game, it's been for the first half, the third quarter specifically, but they'll really give you a specific time that the players are going to be on the call with Brendan and Lisa. But they kept the StudBudz on for the fourth quarter, and while I personally found it entertaining, we did have a few other opinions on Blue Sky. So that was funny to find. But I have to give it to both parties. Not only did the StudBudz build this brand and have it launch into something they're still trying to figure out what to do with, but Unrivaled noticed it as well. And now there's this partnership to where both can grow together and have this win-win combination. Because once the StudBudz figure out what they're actually gonna do, I think we'll get a little bit of magic, especially knowing the changes coming in the W, not just with the shakeup and free agency, but Courtney said it themselves, they're in their early 30s, so we'll probably get the next chapter of the StudBudz and they'll have gained their audience while still in the W and Unrivaled for that matter. And that was really week 4. I thoroughly enjoyed it. They did start another free throw challenge. I don't even think the players were aware, so that'll be interesting when they award the next check. They've only got 4 to 5 weeks left in the entire season, and that's including the playoffs and championship, but we will have the one-on-one competition, so that's something to look forward to as well. Giving us a shorter week 5, but I'm definitely excited to see not just the one-on-one competition, but now players we didn't get to see last year play this year. Specifically players like Marina Mayberry, Paige Beckers, Kelsey Mitchell. Hopefully it's just as exciting, if not more, than its first time around with Unrivaled.
Don't put her in my bracket, bro. Like, I'm not trying to have to guard her fast ass, bro.
Yeah, she be gone. I'm glad she's on my team.
So if you made it this far, let me know who you got in the one-on-one competition. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll do this again next time.
I knew that Unrivaled in Philadelphia would be an amazing match. So man, my heart is full. God is good. This is amazing, you know?
Don't forget to like and subscribe, players.